Hello everyone, my name is Caitlin Hoverkamp and today I will be presenting the Too Cool for Plastic campaign, which was created by Iceland Foods. So to start my presentation today, I began with some facts about the Iceland Food Company. Iceland Foods is a unique British retailer. The first Iceland Foods supermarket was opened in 1970 by Malcolm Walker in Shropshire. Iceland Foods today currently has over 900 stores throughout the UK. And in addition to the 900 plus stores in the UK, there are also 40 owned or franchise stores across Europe. To the right, I just included a picture of a storefront of one of the Iceland Foods supermarkets. So the Too Cool for Plastic campaign kind of started out around 2017, according to the company website. The company itself wasn't going to just leap into something brand new without testing the waters out in a way to say kind of. But I know that the earliest reports of the company internally banning plastic or trying to take baby steps was when the company swore off plastic straws, basically. And that was kind of like to get the ball rolling for the entire campaign. But on this timeline here for you guys, I just started in the early 2018 when they had finally set the objectives and everything for the campaign. But in the early 2018 Iceland, they actually began banning plastic water bottles and cups and stopped the use of non-recyclable coffee cups in their head offices to try to see if that was gonna take off like they thought it would. Once it did that, and they were able to recycle and get rid of so much plastic just in their head office, they decided to announce the campaign to the public. And when they announced that, they said that the campaign was going to commit to eliminate plastic packaging from all of their own labeled products. And they plan to complete that by the year 2023. So on this slide for you guys, I have the campaign goals and objectives. Um, The goals for this campaign were to reform companies' impact on the environment, to raise awareness about plastic pollution, and encourage behavior change amongst consumers and other retailers. Um, and then the company followed up with this objective, which is to eliminate plastic packaging from all of its own labeled products by 2023. So on this slide, you guys can see I included just a really pretty photograph that I saw on their annual report. The company itself kind of releases one of these on their websites to just keep consumers informed and whatnot about the campaign and the status of the campaign. But this is kind of just to show you guys some of the images they include that back up the message that they're trying to get out to consumers. But the theme and the message is what I'm going to explain to you guys on here. The campaign theme is basically to save the environment. As you can see, the turtle has a plastic bag in its mouth in the picture on the right. And according to the Iceland Foods website, the campaign's message is basically, we cannot recycle our way out of a problem of ocean plastic pollution. It is essential to turn down the tap of plastic production, which I think is a really strong message to send to consumers. Once the campaign and the company kind of decided what they wanted their message to be for their campaign, and they introduced it to the consumers and the public, the campaign obviously had to take action. Some of the things I listed on here, some of the action I believe the company took to get where they are today in their campaign. The first one is the company monitors their plastic saving process using a real-time tracker on their website. I think that this call to action that they've placed on their website really just shows consumers and kind of motivates them as far as wanting to follow along with the companies and the campaign's progress, as well as trying to contribute on their own, or maybe encouraging them to contribute on their own, because of all the work that's been done so far. Iceland representatives have spoken on talk shows like Good Morning Britain also to promote the campaign. And lastly, Iceland Foods released a press release and other types of written, advertisements for the campaign. Some of the media channels that were used for the campaign, there's actually a lot of them, but one of the most successful things I think that the campaign did is to start a hashtag, especially since most of the ways that consumers find out information nowadays is on social media. But some of the other thing, or another tool that they use is YouTube, and they have a lot of videos and whatnot on that. And I also provided links for you guys for all of the outlets the company used, so you guys can check that out if you want to. Some of the other media channels they used is Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. Now this slide is just something extra I wanted to add in there for you guys, just to explain some of the steps that Iceland has taken to basically practice what they preach. The company, although the company hasn't reached its ultimate objective yet, they have until 2023, obviously, but they have taken the following steps to achieve their objective so far. In April 2018, they installed in-store vending machines, which allow customers to return plastic bottles, which is also in support of the government's proposed deposit return scheme in England that is currently ongoing. The company became the only supermarket to sell chewing gum that is plastic free in 2018 in the UK. Replacing plastic egg trays with pulp trays is something that they've done. Replacing paper bands in place of plastic bands on bananas that we see a lot of the times in our US supermarkets. And the company removed the sale of single-use carrier bags, and they also switched production of frozen meals out of black plastic trays. Although they've had some, type of container they can store that in, they haven't mastered that yet, so they're still in the process of doing that. So next I'm just going to talk about the status of the campaign right now. But so far the campaign has saved a total of 850 tons of plastic, according to their tracker on their website. 227,000 non-recyclable and plastic containers have been saved at their head office alone, and that was just last year. The company has reduced or removed plastic packaging across 81 lines. This include the banana packaging and whatnot. The company began to move all their eggs into boxes made from paper pulp in October 2018, and they completed that by April 2019. This change alone will remove 600 tons of plastic a year from the stores. I'm sorry about that. A total of 311,500 bottles have been scanned into those in-store recycle bottle machines, and that was only after 6 months after the campaign was started. So to just compare the cultural dimensions between the UK and the US, I noticed that a lot of the categories were almost neck and neck. Most of them were only like at the most 6 points off from each other. But two of the categories that I did notice that were a little bit more than 6-ish points off was the uncertainty avoidance that was ranked 35 in the UK, and it was ranked 46 in the US. And in the UK, also long-term orientation was ranked 51, while the US was ranked 26. So this is where I just described the circuit of culture and its relation to the campaign. I started with regulation. In the UK, in December 2018, the government published its resource and waste strategy. And in February 18th, 2019, DEFRA launched a deposit return scheme for drink containers in England and Wales. This campaign falls in line with the UK's current strategy to make the UK a world leader in resource efficiency and resource productivity. Next, I talk about the representation. The company utilized social media networks often to promote the campaign, which are popular among the millennials, which is a big target audience, I think, for this campaign that they were trying to reach. Following representation, I talked about identity. Iceland displayed their identity through the campaign by showing their dedication to not only their environment but also their customers. The campaign depicts the extra steps the company took to better the lives of their customers as well as their environment in the UK. Next, I talked about production. Iceland campaign began making moves to reduce single-use plastic prior to its campaign launch. So the company really carefully planned out how they wanted to execute their campaigns. I think a good example of this is when the company began their campaign in-house to practice what they preach, and the company has been transparent with their efforts, which shows the company's values. Next, I talked about consumption. The campaign strategized their efforts for success by making the advertisement grab various consumers by tugging on their heartstrings. And just to wrap it up for you guys, in summary of the campaign, I think personally, I think it's achieved so much since it's launched in 2018, and although it hasn't achieved its ultimate objective yet, I don't think it's far off from doing so, and it wouldn't surprise me if they were able to do so before their deadline in 2023. I think that the campaign itself has really been conducted in a great way. They have been doing so much to actually try to not only change their company itself, but change the industry. I think that their decision to share both the achievements and the hiccups they have encountered along the way to becoming plastic free is a positive attribute to this campaign because it shows a sense of transparency between the company and its followers. I think that transparency is really amazing to have within a public relations campaign because it shows the company's dedication to the cause even after they have encountered so many roadblocks along the way that they still wanted to do this for the public to make sure that their lives are bettered. On my last slide, I just included some of the references that I used to gather some of the research for my presentation, and I just wanted to put them on here in case you guys wanted to look up some of that. But I wanted to say thank you so much for coming and watching my presentation, and I wish you all good luck.